What is up, everybody? We're on day 46 of our Bible in a Year series. We are working through, today we're talking about rebellion, consequences, and God's holiness. And we're doing that in Numbers 16 through 18. So we'll jump right in. I think I say that every single day. Or without any further ado. When you start recording yourself talking, and going back and listening to it while I'm editing, you notice all the mannerisms and things like that. So, yeah. Okay. Numbers 16. Now Korah, son of Izhar, son of Kohath, son of Levi, with Dathan and Abiram, sons of Eliab, and On, sons of Peleth, sons of Reuben, took 250 prominent Israelite men who were leaders of the community and representatives in the assembly, and they rebelled against Moses. They came together against Moses and Aaron and told them, "You have gone too far. Everyone in the entire community is holy, and the Lord is among them. Why then do you exalt yourselves above the Lord's assembly?" Does this sound familiar? So, what we see up to this point is that no one is holy. That's the point of these sacrifices and things, right? So, it's the point of Jesus' sacrifice on the cross is that he is holy. We are not. He paid that price for us. This, I've not recognized this before. It's not stuck out to me before, but this kind of almost sounds like it almost sounds like a progressive ideology, if I'm being completely honest. Might have to look into that a little bit more. We'll continue on. I'm not gonna go too deep into it right here because I do want to keep this, like I said, 25 minutes if I can. When Moses heard this, he fell face down. Then he said to Korah and all his followers, "Tomorrow morning the Lord will reveal who belongs to him. He is set apart, and the one he will let come near him, he will let the one he chooses." Okay, come near. He will let the one he chooses come near him. Korah, you and all your followers are to do this. Take fire pans, and tomorrow place fire in them, and put incense on them before the Lord. Then the man the Lord chooses will be the one who is set apart. It is you, Levites, who have gone too far. Moses also told Korah, "Now listen, Levites. Isn't it enough for you that the God of Israel has separated you from the Israelite community to bring you near to himself, to perform the work of the Lord's tabernacle and to stand before the community to minister to them? He has brought you near, and all your fellow Levites who are with you, but you are pursuing the priesthood as well. Therefore, it is you and all your followers who have conspired against the Lord. As for Aaron, who is he that you should complain about him?" Moses sent for Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, but they said, "We will not come. It is not enough that you brought us up from the land flowing with milk and honey to kill us in the wilderness. Do you also have to appoint yourself as ruler over us?" So these people don't get to go to the promised land. It is their fault for not listening to God, and now they're blaming Moses. I'm going to go out on a limb. I've read ahead, so I know what happens. I'm going to go out on a limb, say this doesn't end well for them. We'll see. Furthermore, you didn't bring us to a land flowing with milk and honey, or give us an inheritance of fields and vineyards. Will you gouge out the eyes of these men? We will not come. Then Moses became angry and said to the Lord, "Don't respect their offering. I have not taken one donkey from them or mistreated a single one of them." So Moses told Korah, "You and all your followers are to appear before the Lord tomorrow. You, they, and Aaron. Each of you is to take his fire pan, place incense on it, and present his fire pan before the Lord. 250 fire pans. You and Aaron are each to present your fire pan also. Each man took his fire pan, placed fire on it, or in it, put incense on it, and stood at the entrance of the tent of meeting along with Moses and Aaron. After Korah assembled the whole community against them at the entrance of the tent of meeting, the glory of the Lord appeared to the whole community. The Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, "Separate yourselves from this community, so I may consume them instantly." But Moses and Aaron fell face down and said, God, who gives breath to all, when one man sins, will you vent your wrath on the whole community? The Lord replied to Moses, "Tell the community to get away from the dwellings of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram." Moses got up and went to Dathan and Abiram, and elders of the Israel followed him. He warned the community, "Get away from the tents of these wicked men. Don't touch anything that belongs to them, or you will be swept away because of all their sins." So they got away from the dwellings of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. Meanwhile, Dathan and Abiram came out and stood at the entrance of their tents with their wives, children, and infants. Then Moses said, "This is how you will know that the Lord sent me to do these things, and that it was not on my own will. If these men die naturally, as all people would, and suffer the fate of all, then the Lord has not sent me. But if the Lord brings about something unprecedented, and the ground opens up its mouth and swallows them along with all the belongings to them, so that they go down alive into Sheol, then you will know that these men have despised the Lord." Just as he finished speaking all these words, the ground beneath them split open. The earth opened its mouth and swallowed them and their households, all Korah's people, and all their possessions. They went down alive into Sheol with all that belonged to them. The earth closed over them, and they vanished from the assembly. At their cries, all the people of Israel who were around them fled, because they thought, "The earth may swallow us too." Fire also came out from the Lord and consumed the 250 men who were presenting the incense. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, "Tell Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, to remove the fire pans from the burning debris, because they are holy, and scatter the fire far away. As far as the fire pans for those who sinned at the cost of their own lives, make them into hammered sheets as plating for the altar, for they presented them before the Lord, and the fire pans are holy. They will be a sign to the Israelites." So the priest Eleazar took the bronze fire pans to those who were burned had presented. They were hammered into plating for the altar, just as the Lord commanded him through Moses. It was to be a reminder for the Israelites that no unauthorized person outside the lineage of Aaron should approach to offer incense before the Lord and become like Korah and his followers. The next day, the entire Israelite community complained about Moses and Aaron, saying, "You have killed the Lord's people." When the community assembled against them, Moses and Aaron turned to the tent of meeting, toward the tent of meeting. I can't read. And suddenly a cloud covered it, and the Lord's glory appeared. Like, these people are alive because of Moses and Aaron. Like, it can be so hard to read because you get so frustrated when you see Israel and how they act and how they react to things. But the thing is, like I've said multiple times, that's not really that far off from how we are. There's so many things that are sin, and it is clear it hurts you. It is clear it's not beneficial for you. And we still go back to it. We still do it. Right? I know I'm not the only one. I'm not speaking just to anybody else out there that's listening or anything like that. This is me. I do this. I am stupid. I make stupid decisions. I make stupid decisions over and over again sometimes. But thank God he is merciful. Okay. Verse 43, Moses and Aaron went to the front of the tent of meeting, and the Lord said to Moses, "Get away from this community so that I may consume them instantly." But they fell face down. Then Moses told Aaron, "Take your fire pan, place fire from the altar in it, and add incense. Go quickly to the community and make atonement for them, because wrath has come from the Lord. The plague has begun." So Aaron took his fire pan, and Moses had ordered as Moses had ordered, ran into the middle of the assembly and saw that the plague had begun among the people. After he added incense, he made atonement for the people. He stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was halted. But those who died from the plague numbered 14,700, in addition to those who died because of the Korah incident. Aaron then returned to Moses at the entrance of the tent of meeting, since the plague had been halted. Chapter 17. The Lord instructed Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and take one staff from them for each ancestral tribe, 12 staffs from all the leaders of the tribes. Write each man's name on his staff. Write Aaron's name on Levi's staff, because there is to be one staff for the head of each tribe. Then place them in the tent of meeting in front of the testimony where I meet with you. The staff of the man I choose will sprout, and I will rid myself of the Israelites' complaints that they have been making about you." So Moses spoke to the Israelites, and each of their leaders gave him a staff, one for each of the leaders of their tribes, 12 staffs in all. Aaron's staff was among them. Moses placed the staffs before the Lord in the tent of testimony. The next day Moses entered the tent of the testimony and saw that Aaron's staff, representing the house of Levi, had sprouted, formed buds, blossomed, and produced almonds. Moses then brought out all the staffs from the Lord's presence to all the Israelites. They saw them, and each man took his own staff. The Lord told Moses, "Put Aaron's staff back in front of the testimony to be kept as a sign for the rebels, so that you may put an end to their complaints before me, or else they will die." So Moses did as the Lord commanded him. Then the Israelites declared to Moses, "Look, we're perishing, we're lost, we're all lost. Anyone who comes near the Lord's tabernacle will die. We will all perish." Imagine that, sitting the staff in there and going away and coming back, and the staff, so dried wood, right? Just sprouts and starts to produce almonds. There's a lot of stuff like this that I feel gets overlooked. But we don't really think about how amazing it really is. Okay. Chapter 18. The Lord said to Aaron, "You, your sons, and your ancestral family will be responsible for iniquity against the sanctuary. You and your sons will be responsible for iniquity involving your priesthood. But also bring your relatives with you from the tribe of Levi, your ancestral tribe, so they may join you and assist you and your sons in front of the tent of testimony. They are to perform duties for you and for the whole tent. They must not come near the sanctuary equipment or the altar, otherwise both you will die. Both they and you will die. They are to join you and guard the tent of meeting, doing all the work at the tent, but no unauthorized person may come near you. You are to guard the sanctuary and the altar, so the wrath may not fall on the Israelites again. Look, I've selected your fellow Levites from the Israelites as a gift for you, assigned by the Lord to work at the tent of meeting. But you and your sons will carry out your priestly responsibilities for everything concerning the altar and for what is inside the curtain, and will do that work. I am giving you the work of priesthood as a gift, but an unauthorized person who comes near the sanctuary will be put to death." Then the Lord spoke to Aaron, "Look, I have put you in charge of the contributions brought to me. As for all the holy offerings of the Israelites, I have given them to you and your sons as a portion and a permanent statute. A portion of the holiest offerings kept from the fire will be yours. Every one of their offerings that they give me, whether the grain offering, sin offering, or guilt offering, will be most holy for you and your sons. You are to eat it as a most holy offering. Every male eat it. It is to be holy to you. The contribution of their gifts belongs to you. I have given all the Israelites presentation offerings to you and your sons and daughters as a permanent statute. Every ceremonially clean person in your house may eat it. I'm giving you all the best of the fresh oil, new wine, and grain, which of the Israelites give to the Lord as their first fruits. The first fruits of all that is in their land, which they bring to the Lord, belong to you. Every clean person in your house may eat them. Everything in Israel that is permanently dedicated to the Lord belongs to you. The firstborn of every living thing, human or animal, presented to the Lord belongs to you, but you must certainly redeem a human firstborn and redeem the firstborn of an unclean animal. You will pay the redemption price for a month-old male, according to your assessment, 5 shekels of silver by the standard sanctuary shekel, which is 20 gerahs. However, you must not redeem the firstborn of an ox, a sheep, or a goat. They are holy. You are to splatter their blood on the altar and burn their fat as food offering for a pleasing aroma to the Lord. But their meat belongs to you. It belongs to you like the breast of the presentation offering and the right thigh. I give to you and your sons and daughters all the holy contributions that the Israelites present to the Lord as a permanent statute. It is a permanent covenant of salt before the Lord for you as well as your offering. The Lord told Aaron, you will not have an inheritance in their land. There will be no portion among them for you. I am your portion and your inheritance among the Israelites. Look, I have given the Levites every tenth in Israel as an inheritance in return for the work they do. The work of the tent of meeting, the Israelites must never again come near the tent of meeting, or they will incur guilt and die. The Levites will do the work of the tent of meeting, and they will bear the consequences of their iniquity. The Levites will not receive an inheritance among the Israelites. This is a permanent statute throughout your generations, for I have given them the tenth that the Israelites present to the Lord as a contribution for their inheritance. That is why I told them that they would not receive an inheritance among the Israelites. The Lord instructed Moses, speak to the Levites and tell them, when you receive from the Israelites the tenth that I have given to you as your inheritance, you are to present part of it as an offering to the Lord, a tenth of the tenth. Your offering will be credited to you as if it were your grain from the threshing floor or the full harvest from the winepress. You are to present an offering to the Lord from every tenth you receive from the Israelites. Give some of it to the priest Aaron as an offering to the Lord. You must present the entire offering due the Lord from all your gifts. The best part of the tenth is to be consecrated. Tell them further, once you have presented the best part of the tenth, and it is credited to you Levites as the produce of the threshing floor or the winepress, then you and your household may eat it anywhere. It is your wage in return for your work at the tent of meeting. You will not incur guilt because of it. I just lost some thought. You will not incur guilt because of it once you have presented the part of it, but you must not defile the Israelites' holy offerings so that you will not die. Okay, that is it for the reading for today. But we got some fun questions. Question 1. What does the rebellion of Korah teach us about the dangers of pride and dissent within a community of faith? I don't think it's by chance that pride is also a term used to describe much of the LGBT community. I think there is a reason behind that. Like I said, with this that we saw, it reminded me a lot of progressive ideology. The idea that you are enough, which sounds good surface level, right? It sounds good to tell, like, no, like, you are enough, like, it's fine, right? You're good. But that's not the gospel. The gospel is offensive in nature. Naturally, the gospel offends you. The gospel is you're not good enough, but that's okay because Jesus came and did what you couldn't do. I think an improper understanding of the gospel leads to pride, and not just pride as we see in our Western culture with LGBT stuff, but pride in general. Question 2. How can we apply the lessons of obedience and respect for God's authority found in these chapters to our own lives and communities? Obey God's laws. Now, there's Old Testament law that doesn't necessarily apply to us today, but I still think there's some principle behind most of what's there. Generally speaking, I think things that were punishable by death are still sin today. Um, Understanding that God knows the best way for you. He knows what's best for you. So listen to him. Do what he says. Just do it. Like Nike. Uh, Question 3. In what ways does God's response to the rebellion highlight his holiness and the importance of maintaining a right relationship? Again, these these people, when they first came up to Moses and Aaron, they said they were holy. But what we've been seeing this whole time up to this point is no, you're not. That's why you have to do these sacrifices. That's why you have to go about a specific way. That's why the Levites are set apart. You're not holy. That is the purpose of the last 3 books that we've read. 2 books we've read, right? So I think it does show some importance, and that there are some direct connections to today with those. But that is it for today. Appreciate everyone watching, listening. If you're still around to this point, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If this has been a blessing to you, share it with other people. Word of mouth is still the best way that podcasts spread. So if you have been blessed by this, you can have someone else be blessed by this as well. They can start on today. They can start on day 1 and work their way up. They can just binge it to get to where we are. There's really no wrong way to do it. Partner with us. We want to spread the gospel as much as we can, as far as we can. We want to help people get back into reading their Bible and be consistent in reading the Bible. I think it's very, very important. So that is what our goal is here today. And that is it for today. See you tomorrow. God bless.